Shai Dub was just in here talking about, your poise, and he said, if Shai ain't panicking, I'm not panicking. Just where's that poise come from?
Say it one more time, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, Dub was in here. He got asked about your poise, just in late game situations and in situations where maybe you have to weather a 39-8 run. And he said, if Shai ain't panicking, I'm not panicking. Just that poise, that level of, that calm demeanor, not just, outside the court, but, being able to constantly sustain that no matter the situation. Where's that come from?
Good question. I don't know. I just always played the game level-headed. I always try to just play the next possession in front of me and try to win that possession. Obviously, basketball is a game of runs, up and downs, especially in a league so talented. It's going to be, I think they went on like a 30-13 run tonight. Yeah, something crazy. So it's ups and downs. You just got to try to turn the tide, and you only do that by taking it possession by possession, so that's what I focus on.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you kind of always had that, and you kind of have to have that in a league like this where it's like a game of runs. But is there like another gear you have to tap into where it's a game like this where 39-8? It's not the only game you guys play like this in Dallas. You guys had that 30-0 run, and you win that game. Like, is there another gear of that you have to kind of tap into for yourself?
For me, no. I just try to keep the same mentality no matter what the game is, no matter what's going on. We got out to a big lead because we were getting stops and playing well offensively. And we got away from it a little bit, but because we were able to just kind of take it by possession, especially that last 8 minutes in the fourth, we were able to turn the tide by getting stops and getting out. But yeah, it starts by staying in the moment, I think.
So you mentioned it started by getting stops, and you had 3 steals, Lou, Dub had 3, Aaron had 4 off the bench. Just when you have guys that are as strong as they are defensively, and you match that with obviously the defensive schemes that you guys have, just how strong is that, and how important was that for you guys?
Yeah, it's where we like to hang our hat every night. We know that when we are top of our game defensively, no matter what's going on offensively, we have a chance to win, and no matter who we play. So we had it for Spurs tonight. We got away from it a little bit clearly. That's why they were able to go on such a big run, but we did enough of it tonight to get a W.
Shai, your deceleration and ability to step on a dime is probably the best in the league and best the league's seen in a while. Curious, is that something that you have always had, or how did you kind of develop that throughout the years?
I kind of always played like herky-jerky and always like changing my pace. Now, the past couple of years, I've really like worked on my athleticism and stopping and starting and stop and being explosive out of stops and starts in the summertime. And I've gotten really like powerful and really good at it. So I think I've always had it, but I just in the past couple of years been able to take it to another level.
Go ahead.
Kevin Durant said earlier this week that Sam Presti really remodeled the formula of OKC to have a trio of 3 guys that pretty much alluding to himself, Russ, and James back 15 years ago. So do you see that parallel with you, Dub, and Chet, basically going up night after night and where you guys are from rebuilding since Kevin left?
I think there's 3 of them and there's 3 of us that are obviously a talented group of guys, but I don't really think like our games compared to theirs. Those guys are obviously 3 amazing basketball players and have done amazing things with this game and have changed the game forever. Me, Chet, and Dub, 3 kids just trying to get better and trying to chase some of the things that they've achieved and trying to ultimately win an NBA championship. But yeah, there's 3 guys that are, I guess, the head of the snake, just how there was before.
You play in so many actions with so many different of your teammates, but tonight it seemed like you and Dub got a lot going kind of out top, and just working off of each other, ended up being able to close out the game, getting to your spots for those mid-range jumpers. What's that like, kind of working in concert with him?
Yeah, it's something we've been working on a little bit. We worked on it a couple of days after All-Star break. We know what kind of basketball is coming up, and in close, tight games, you want to have things that you can go to that are kind of pick your poison type of things down the stretch. And it's just something that me and Dub are working on, and we'll get a lot better at. But yeah, we definitely saw a little bit of it tonight.
And you had a big steal in the entry pass to Durant late. You seem to have this knack for denying entry passes, coming over on the weak side for steals on them. Is there anything about those situations that's really natural for you, or something that maybe growing up was like something that you knew you could always take advantage of?
I think I just watch a lot of basketball, so I know teams' tendencies. I know, like for that play, for that instance, I know like Nurkic can really pass, and Kevin's obviously 7 feet, a lot taller than me, so they were gonna try. Like if I was denying him, he's gonna try to go back door. But yeah, I just watch a lot of basketball and pick up on guys' tendencies, and I try to play off of them defensively and offensively.
Yeah, I think this win moved you guys a half game ahead of the two teams that you're right neck and neck with, first in the Western Conference now. At this point, like, this is when we start talking about MVP races, when we start talking about individual awards and things like that. How do you handle that kind of attention and that kind of discussion with your name? I think we're second in one of those straw polls that Tim Bontemps did and all that.
I try not to worry about it. I think it's what's got me to this point so far. I try to just focus on winning games and trying to be the best team that we can be, especially late in the season. We really want to be gearing up to our best form and who we're going to be, at least for this year. And that's all I'm really focused on. Now, the other stuff is obviously cool. It's stuff you dream about, and it'd be flattering to have, but winning games is most important for sure.
Go to the quarter?
Yes, I was just wondering what was going through your mind during that challenge sequence with, maybe your fifth foul, and then things got changed.
Yeah, I know I felt my head made contact with Grayson. Now I didn't think it was like my fault, or I didn't think like I had hit him. So I was like, we might be able to go challenge it. And then coach just pulled the trigger. But that's pretty much all him. He made a gutsy play, and it definitely changed the course of the game.
Last question.
Shay, you just mentioned kind of staying present with the whole MVP thing. You kind of said that all year. But I did notice after the Tuesday win against the Rockets, in that postgame when Jerry Greenberg asked you about MVP, and kind of framed it with the whole, where you guys are understanding and everything, you cracked a smile, which is like something you haven't done when asked that all year. Just Mark was in here talking before the game about, the humanity and, dealing with the buzz that comes with MVP. Would you say it's perfectly human to kind of, dig into some of that buzz, right? Especially now that the season is, a month away from being over.
Yeah. It's, like I said, it's something that, you dream about as a kid. It's something that is, as a kid, you feel like it's so far out of reach. Just being 6-year-old playing in your backyard, and you screaming MVP or whatever it is, watching guys get MVP. It's something that you try to. Something that you just try to just soak it all in. I feel like in my past, when I've gone ahead of myself and focused on my goals and try to worry about whether I'm achieving my goals, I miss a step and I skip a step. And when I've been able to just enjoy it all, enjoy what's in front of me, stay true to who I am, it's worked out. And I've achieved some things in the past couple of years. So that's kind of how I kind of cope with it all and go through it.
Jalen, you and Shai played in a lot of actions out top, switches and different coverages. What's that like, you two being able to play off of each other and help each other get to those spots for the jumpers that you're looking for or attempts to win?
Honestly, I'm kind of learning from him a little bit. You know, some of these coverages or teams are kind of switching them to me now as well, especially kind of with that second unit. So try and see a lot of the stuff that he does and, you know, kind of pick his brain about the way that he's attacking it. And, yeah, tonight that was kind of like the first time I'd seen some of those coverages. So it was good to kind of get the reps and kind of just learn on the fly, see what he does and trying to emulate that. And, you know, we play similar style. We like to get to the same areas of the court. So just kind of reading what he's doing as well, you know, playing off the ball. And then when I'm on the ball, just trying to take care of the ball. You know, we have a lot of guys that make good plays, so trusting them as well.
And then on the other end, you guys doubled Durant quite a bit and really scrambled out of that. Is there an element of fun to flying around the floor like that, covering for each other and being able to close out strong, or is it like kind of a scary thing in those moments when you're 4-on-3 on the backside a little bit?
It's both. It's like a scary fun because it's basketball. So, you know, you're like running around, kind of scrambling. I think the scary part is having trust, and I think that goes away with our team because we trust each other enough for somebody else to be there, somebody else to kind of be in that rotation. So I think that kind of takes away like the scary aspect of it. But you know, we try and just make the game as hard as possible for the best players, and you know, we understand they're going to score and hit tough shots, but just try and muck the game up and cover for each other.
What is it about this team that doesn't panic when the Suns go on a run like that? You guys stay cool, calm, and collective, and you get the lead and you get the win.
I think this game we started out and it's like, what was it, like 17-4 or something? So the score looks horrible, and then when you know you go to that first timeout, it's like, okay, it's 13 or it's 11. So you're never as far or ahead or behind as you think. You know, especially NBA games, we understand that. You know, we've lost games like that last year. We've lost games this year. We've won games like that. So we have a pretty good understanding of that, and I think you know we're able to trust each other to make the right play and just kind of stick with it. We did a good job of that. We were getting really good looks in the third quarter too. We just didn't hit shots. Stuff like that happens. So you know we kind of leaned out on defense.
Yeah, we just talked about, you know, you seeing some of the coverage now that maybe Shai has seen all year. But what's that say to you that you're seeing some of those coverages now, and just what does it mean to you, I guess?
I mean, it probably means I'm playing well. I think, you know, we're getting to that point of season where teams are going to start throwing a ton of looks at us just to kind of throw us off. You know, I think for me it's just being ready to kind of attack those, and I think the coaching staff just kind of lets me go out there and play. So, you know, when I'm able to figure it out on the fly and not worry about, you know, what's happened after that, I think it kind of helps me out. And, you know, from there I'm just kind of reading what the game gives. You know, I trust my teammates a lot to make, you know, big plays. You know, you have guys like Wiggs, K-Rich, Queso. I'm not going to go down the whole list, but, you know, you have guys like that are always ready to kind of make an impact and, you know, play on the catch, and guys that can score. So kind of leave it in their hands too.
Yeah. The last time a Thunder team was 42-18 was 2016. When you hear that, what do you think?
I mean, it's cool. You know, it's not really the end goal, but I think the biggest thing for us is just showing improvement from last year. And, you know, kind of going from that, I think what we're trying to do is improve each game. You know, Coach talks about just kind of being selfish in the way that we approach the game and be selfish, you know, how we kind of handle getting better each game. And, you know, this game we're going to look at that third quarter and see what we could have did better. So I think for us it's just about constantly improving.
Last one for me. I mean, you were asked already about, you know, doubling KD, everything that comes with that. But the fourth quarter stretch of defense where I think, you know, Chet hedges once. You guys get a jump ball out of that. Wiggs gets the steal and breakaway dunk. You guys rotate and let, you know, Saban Lee get a couple threes up. Just describe or what that sequence feels like and just what it took to get back to playing that level of defense after that third quarter.
You know, probably just going back to trust, you know. We kind of buckled down defensively. We talked about it. You know, we weren't hitting shots at that point. You know, so we got a couple runouts and, you know, kind of got our offense back going, and then we were kind of able to shut the door defensively and really kind of just stuck to our scheme. You know, it's us just trusting what the coaches kind of had us doing, and, you know, they're incredibly smart. You know, they're basketball heads, so they study the game, so we kind of just went from there and just trusted them, kind of able to buckle down defensively.
I wanted to ask you about Aaron's contributions and minutes off the bench. He had 4 steals tonight, and it seemed like everybody was getting in passing lanes. But when you have a guy like Aaron who, seems to step up whenever his number is called,
Yeah.
what's that like to have that guy?
It's special. Everybody sees you say basketball memes, but I think it's very underratedly hard to come into a game and not really know what's going on and just be able to plug in right away and kind of do everything the team needs. He's extremely good at that. So hats off to him. He does a really good job every night coming in, being a professional, giving us what we need off the bench and, not even knowing what his minutes are going to look like. So, that takes a lot of mental fortitude to be able to do that and then also come in and play as hard as he does.
Ramon's got one over here.
Yep.
Ramona Shelby again. I'm just wondering how much of that resiliency or just the word unflappable comes to mind when you guys have swings like this in a game. How much of that comes just from Shai's temperament and for the way he is as a leader out on the court?
Oh yeah, he's exactly that, a leader. I think when you can look to somebody and they're calm in those moments, it gives everybody kind of a sense of confidence, something that we all kind of feed off of. So if he ain't panicking, I'm not. So.
Have you ever seen him panic?
No.
You ever get it?
Nah. Cool dude though.
Thanks.
It felt like that second quarter, just the doubling of KD, the way you guys navigated that is what got you the lead, and you guys lose it in the third. And then that stretch where you come in the fourth, just Chet, I think Chet hedges, you guys force the jump ball, you get the steal and breakaway dunk. You guys start rotating, force some saving lead, open threes. Like, just walk me through what it took to get back to that defensive intensity and what you saw there in the fourth that maybe helped close the game.
I think just course correction. The first half we had a big lead, and then coming out the second half, that third quarter, we kind of let them get back into it. But we were able to just kind of understand what got us the lead that we had in the first half. We were able to get back to our principles on both ends of the court. And defensively, when we're playing really well, that helps. So just kind of trying to get back to our identity on the defensive end in that fourth quarter and helped us come out with a win.
Yeah, and I don't know that any team has taken on, a 30-point avalanche. You guys did that in December in Dallas, a 30-0 run to be exact, and won that game tonight. You guys, the Suns going a 39-8 run. You guys still win the game. What is it about this team that, maybe sees or invites runs like that and then can still close games after runs like that?
I don't know about inviting those. That's nothing you want to play with. I'm not sure, man. Just a tough group. Guys who are, not afraid of adversity and kind of willing to, face it. But at the same time, guys just compete. So whatever it takes to win, and it's basketball. So teams are going to go on runs, and obviously you want to limit, especially big runs like that. But when you can kind of course correct and get back to, playing an even game and the way you want to play, every team is going to be successful that way. So, we just got a good group of guys who want to compete and do what it takes to win.
Aaron, you mentioned course correction and getting back to your identity on the defensive end. But what part of the defensive identity did you guys have to tap into tonight that led to 31 points off of their turnovers?
Yeah, I think just understanding our game plan and our approach, trying not to let, their main guys be comfortable. To start the third quarter, I thought we kind of just were a little like a step behind, a little slow to kind of react, and to make sure that we were putting pressure both on their main guys and then also just rotating on the defensive end to, kind of create a little bit of chaos, once we got their main guys off the ball. Once we were able to kind of get back to that and pick up the intensity a little bit, that helped us kind of, get back in the game and get our lead back. But we just got to do a better job of kind of maintaining, that focus, from the second quarter, going back into the second half. So,
And just for you specifically, you had 4 steals, a career high. Was there anything in particular that you were reading or looking for out there as you were watching the game unfold from the sidelines when you stepped onto the floor?
Just trying to be active, knowing, the way that we wanted to play, just kind of reading the game, trying to find opportunities to, get the ball and get back on offense. So just kind of, playing off of reads and reactions.
Aaron, you had to kind of strip block on Durant in the fourth, and going back down the other way, I saw you just grin a little bit. How satisfying are those little moments that might not be these massive things, but just for you in those situations?
Yeah, he tried to post, and he was able to kind of get a good position for like an easy dunk. But I'm not going to give up on the play, so try to go for the ball and get a block steal on it. And I think he wanted a foul off of it, but I got a lot of the ball. So, I mean, obviously satisfying. You want to make those plays, and on guys like that, they're really good, and they've had a lot of success in their careers. So, that's a fun play, but just the game as a whole was. Those are games you want to play in. ESPN, good crowd, the atmosphere, the environment. So when we're locked in and, things are going our way, I was out there trying to get steals. Our team did a really good job defensively. I see 3 other guys had like 3 steals. So, that speaks volumes to our team's level of focus and just intensity.
You use the phrase, don't give up on the play. And that's actually one of the first things that Gordon said to me about this team when he got here, that he noticed was like, these guys don't give up on plays. They don't die on screens. What does that feel like to you to kind of have a newcomer come in and be one of the first things that he recognizes on the screen?
Yeah. I mean, that like I said, it speaks volumes just kind of to the group that we have because just the mindset, the approach to every play and understanding how important every play, kind of matters. And then I mean, when he comes in and he says that, it's something that, it's an identity. Guys play this way and guys play hard. We don't give up on plays. And that's something that, we pride ourselves on, playing every possession completely through and playing the game, the full game, 48 minutes. So speaks volumes.
One last thing for me. You're shooting in the paint around the rim, taking a nice step forward. Are there things that you've done in your development to be finishing at a higher level? You had some big-time finishes in transition past big guys tonight.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to one of our assistant coaches, David Daigneault. We work on the basic finishes, and we have just a whole finishing package that we work on almost every day. And just continue to kind of go through the basics and work on touch and feel around the rim is something that, I've kind of tried to prioritize with him. And I mean, you want to get better at every aspect of the game. So we continue to just kind of find different finishes and, opportunities to, get better at finishing around the rim and then everything in between that. So.
Anybody else? We'll go last one with Joel.
Aaron, I don't know that I've seen anybody ask you about this, but the save basketball memes, Dub was just in here talking about that. Just what do you make of that?
I don't know. Funny. It's just a fun meme, I guess. I don't know. But shout out to everybody who believes I saved basketball. Thank you.
A lot of runs in this game. Just what did you think of your group's ability to withstand first the start that Phoenix had to this one, and then obviously the third quarter run they had there?
Yeah, we were able to get the start under control pretty quickly. Obviously, that was good. And then that was an avalanche in the third and fourth. They really got into a groove there. I thought we had some good shots during that stretch. Combination of shot making for both teams. We had a couple breakdowns defensively. Credit them for staying in the game. But I thought we showed great resilience in the fourth to climb back into it when we went down after all that.
You finished with 30 points off their 22 turnovers. What did you see that you liked most about the defensive effort tonight from the guys?
I thought generally we had really good activity, especially on the initial traps. Obviously, we're really aggressive with that team. I thought we could have been better in the closeouts, and one more of those. That's certainly something we can learn from, especially when we're going to be in long closeouts like we are when we play them. But overall, I thought our activity and intensity was pretty good tonight.
Mark, you mentioned the defense. It felt like it was sort of a roller coaster at that fashion. I mean, in the second quarter, you guys are doubling KD. I don't know how much of that was the guys, because I remember back in November you were talking about that being some of their decisions. And then in the fourth, you kind of get back to that after losing maybe something in the third. Just describe the kind of defensive roller coaster, the matchups with KD, doubling, everything that, came to be what that fourth quarter was and that run that won you guys the game.
Well, I thought the breakdowns in the third weren't necessarily on the doubles as much. It was just we were missing shots, and they were out in transition, and we didn't really set our defense. a ton during that time, and they finished plays. Credit them. They shot it obviously exceptionally well during that time. And then we tightened back up. I thought the guys did a really good job of executing the game plan. They understand what that team wants to do. We're constantly trying to figure out ways to throw the best players' rhythm off. I thought we did that for much of the night and made other guys beat us.
In December, you guys give up a 30-0 run in Dallas. You win that game. You give up a 39-8 run here tonight. You win that game. What is it about this team that you guys keep finding yourselves in games like this and then pulling out games like this?
Well, 82 games is a lot, and so you're going to experience a lot of different things. You're going to experience big runs on both ends. You're going to experience a lot of different types of games, and so we want to be a team that competes fully during those and then grows from them, regardless of what side we're on. Our team's always had great resilience, though. I have great respect for our guys as competitors. I thought our resilience was on display tonight. Our poise was on display in the fourth. They did a great job.
And I have to ask, because we've talked about this, I don't know that this was the turning point in the game, but it was in that however minute long sequence, the challenge. You seemed to know as soon as they got done reviewing, you wanted to challenge that. Just walk me through that decision and how good it maybe felt to win the challenge battle with Vogel.
Yeah. He's the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, you're never 100% certain, but I hadn't used one at that point in the game. The shot went in. And so it's points, guaranteed points if you win. It was Shai's fifth foul. And then I was able to take a look at it on the film, while they were reviewing it. And, I didn't think there was enough contact to justify an offensive foul. I thought it was either a defensive foul, on freedom of movement prior to the contact or, marginal contact, no call. So that's why we went and got it.
Just curious how you feel like you guys have been able to counteract how teams are defending Josh out there and leaving him open, and how you feel that's kind of progressed since it started happening.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked ad nauseum about it out with our local market because it's happened quite a bit. He's done a really good job of evolving his skill set to counteract that. We've really tried to diversify the looks against it, having him handle a little bit, having him in passing facilitation spots, having him screening, and then having him spacing and cutting. And so, we try to mix the looks so that the defense can't get into a rhythm with it. I thought early it wasn't great for us, and then we were able to catch a rhythm. The second stint that he was in there in the second quarter to start the third, we were good. And so, we've gotten better there as time's gone on. There's ups and downs with every attack. We're going to see a lot of different things. Fortunately for us, we've seen it quite a bit and been able to kind of workshop it and improve at it, and I thought that was on display for the most part tonight.
Last thing I had was you guys lead the league in terms of turnover rate in terms of how many you force. Would you say that's like the trump card to getting out rebounded, or the lack of rebounding is that you're able to create more possessions through your turnovers? Yeah,
I mean, the game's interconnected, so obviously the rebounding's been a thing for us all year. We've been one of the lower rebounding teams in the league, but the trade-offs that we gain, with the way we play, the lineups we play, generally have outweighed that, and the turnovers are part of that equation. Not only the defensive turnovers, but the offensive turnovers. I think we had 6 tonight. So we are winning a lot of possession battles with the turnover battle. A lot of nights we lose the rebounding battle. And as long as the benefit continues to outweigh the cost, then we're going to continue to accept the trade-offs. We're not going to be a perfect team.
What do you do against an opponent like Nurkic, where Chet, I don't know how much he outweighs him by, with 80 pounds or whatever you want to say it is? What do you do when he has a matchup like that, especially if you look down the road and other matchups he'll face?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have guys on our roster that can help with that, so we went with Biyombo a little bit tonight, and we could play them together potentially. Jalen Williams, we've played with Chad at times. So we have that option, but at the same time, it's the same answer. You got to look at what the full trade-offs are. It's never comfortable when a guy gets 30 rebounds on you, but at the end of the day, there's more to the game than just rebounding. You're trying to score more points than the other team, which includes defense and offense, and there's a lot of factors that go into that. And so as long as the benefit for our team is outweighing the cost, then we have to incur the cost. And if we try to solve every problem, then we're going to be chasing our shadow. And so, I think we've got a good handle on where it's untenable, and what matchups we need to upsize. But otherwise, we hang in there and we don't flinch.
Gallo?
Mark, one of the first things that Gordon said when he got here to me was, this team doesn't give up on plays. And I'm just curious how you saw that type of extra, second, third, fourth efforts play out tonight, and what it kind of maybe means to you as a coach to have that be one of the first things that a new player notices.
I mean, it's just something I don't take for granted with our players competitively. Is how hard it is to give that level of output night after night in an 82-game season. But we do on most nights. I mean, this team really competes, and they do it together, which is a pleasure to watch, pleasure to coach, and something I don't take for granted. But if we want to continue to be a good team, that's what the requirement is. That's what it takes, and I think this team understands that and plays like it. So, we got to continue to stack that up. We still have a lot of season left, but that was on display tonight. The resilience and the effort was there for sure.
I just wanted to ask you about Shai and J-Dub's shot making late. I mean, just getting to those spots can sometimes be hard enough on its own, but for them to actually get to those places and knock down those shots, what you thought of that?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously closed that thing for us, but I thought, we caught a nice rhythm. We were really organized. The team did a really good job on the road of getting the floor set and, getting into our actions in an appropriate way. And then those guys got to spots, but I thought, there's a lot of invisible stuff that goes into that. You got to get organized, and you got to run the action with some pace. They ran a lot of the actions tonight together and did a nice job of executing that, and obviously finished the plays. That's why they're great players.
Hey, Coach, I actually brought up J-Dub to Coach Vogel for the game, and he said simply just can't stop him. How advantageous is it to have a jack-of-all-trades wing that can do a little bit of everything during the grind of an 82-game season?
Yeah, I mean, he's a player that I don't take for granted. I think, if you sit down and you write down objectively what he does, I mean, he shoots over 40% from three. He can handle the ball. He's a willing and capable passer. He can create plays. He can also play off the ball. He's a help defender. He's got great size and positional versatility. And he takes on primary matchups, and it's like if you write that criteria down and you look around the NBA at how many guys check all those boxes, there's not a lot of them, and he's one of them.